Alright, so here is a breakdown of the cases that I use every day. Some of them you may like, some of them may be worthwhile, and some of you may have different favorites, but here are mine. So this is the Targus Crave Case, and I've had this a little bit over a year. Use it for my first iPad and now for the second. Has a cool interior pocket, which I use for some cables from time to time, a little stuff, clean cloths, stuff like that. And then, of course, it has, on the sides here, it has two detachable sides where you have a little strap that comes out, and you can kind of carry the iPad in the case, but I never use that, so that's kind of a, it's a good feature to have, but I've actually never used it. Usually what this does is it goes into my bigger bag, but this is a weatherproof sleeve. I mean, it's waterproof, and the iPad can slip right in. You zip it all the way around, and the iPad is protected. It is a very cushiony case, and something to definitely consider if you need a sleep case. The cool thing about the Crave Case is that it will also work with some of the other stuff that I have. I'll use this as a Snap Shield. I'll show this later. So this is the navy smart cover, the leather one, and if you can tell right here, it's that on some liquid, and it's kind of stained the leather, so I'm working getting that out. So that's one of the negatives about this. There's another spot, like right here, where you can kind of see where it had gotten wet. So it's something to think about with a smart cover. The cool thing about it, it has great functionality, adds no bulk at all. You've all seen the videos on this and the stand videos as well, so I won't go through those. But the cool thing is that with a smart cover, it will slide into the Crave Case, easily folds up, and you are good to go. Now the other piece is the Snap Shield, which is the Belkin Snap Shield. And so far I have used this relatively infrequent. It's decent if you're looking for a backing, but one thing I do see quite a bit is it shows fingerprints and oil and stuff like that quite a bit, but it still serves its purpose. And you've all seen the videos on this as well, but once you snap it into place like this, you are good to go. It does work with a zag shield. I've got this on there. There's no bubble issues. No pushing up on the side, so you're good there. And then it works extremely well with the smart cover, just like this. Which to me, this is really a great combination. I really like it, but you can tell, like right here on the light, you can see like fingerprints. So that's something you need to be mindful of, the clear version of the Belkin Snap Shield. But it too would easily fit into the Targus Crave Case. And so when weather's kind of bad and I know that I'm going to need something that's waterproof, I always grab for this sleeve. So that is something to keep in mind. Okay, my next go-to case is the BookBook by 12 South, and I have a video on that as well. And I've had this case for about a month and a half, and it has held up very well, no issues whatsoever. No issue with the binding. In fact, when I use this case quite often, it'll sit all day in a locked position, and I'll show you that here. The iPad 2 will slip easily, and this is for the iPad 1 as well. It'll slip easily into the case. Say that, not a struggle, but here you go. You put the little strap across the top, and you are good to go. Locks up like this, and it really looks pretty cool, pretty kind of an artsy look to it. In fact, I've had two people that have seen this case and have went out and bought them one just like it. The only negative about this case is that, and I'm curious to see some of my friends how well they wear, but right here you can tell where the it seems like it kind of comes out a little bit further. I would prefer if it was more inset, so it looked more like a book, but can't have everything. Here is the position though that I typically keep it in when it's in this case. It'll sit on my desk. So what you'll do, and this is in my other video as well, but you'll put it into a locked position so that you can use it and vary the angles on how you want to use it as a stand. But once you get it into position the way you like it, you just kind of adjust the leather strap back here, and then it locks into position. This right here is primarily the way it will sit on my desk for hours at a time, and I've noticed no wear or tear at all on the binding, and I've used it, like I said, well over now a month, and there's nothing that indicates that this binding won't hold up as good as it's the day I got it. Of course, this is real leather. It scuffs up, gives it kind of natural look, but this is one of my favorite cases. Last up, I have the DODOCase, and the DODOCase this one is for the iPad 2. I've used this one for about 2 weeks now, and I absolutely love this case. This one's pretty straightforward, much like South 12 ounce BookBook. You slip it into the slots, you push it closed, and then you put the little band like the moleskin notebooks, and this is ready to go. I love the form factor. I love the way that it feels in my hands. The only negative, again, is that the movie viewing stand, which is where you have no way to really secure it, is like this, and depending on the table that you're using on, it has a tendency to slide. So usually what I do is I lock it, put the little binder, a little band across the back here, and just keep it in more of the typing mode. So this is primarily how I use it. So I can use it in the vertical stance or horizontal, but either way it works great. I love it. It has a cool profile. So it works for me, and if you're in the market for something that looks really kind of cool and professional, it's an obvious first choice. One thing that I heard people comment about was they were afraid that the binding here may show some signs of wear. And again, I've had it for about 2 weeks, and I've seen nothing to indicate that there's any type of wear going on along the binder. So I'm going to watch that in the coming weeks. But again, this is my top rundown of cases. I did have the Targus 360 case, which was not bad, but again, I didn't find it to be the best. The Viewscape, I believe it is by Targus, which is a thin leather one, I like that quite a bit. And then there is the in-case lounge case, which I did a review on as well, that I use like if I'm sitting down or if I'm sitting on my desk and I don't have a case with me. But again, if you have cases that you use or recommendations, don't hesitate to post a comment or shoot me a private message. And as always, please subscribe.